You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
Oh my gosh, I can finally watch Florida Girls.
What is Florida Girls?
It's like the trashiest show I ever found one night. It's like girls who live in like a Florida trailer park. It's basically just a big ass make fun of Florida.
So is it Jersey Shore just in Florida?
Except it's more like a sitcom.
Oh,
It's not like reality TV at all.
Oh, so it's scripted.
Yeah.
And not the way reality TV is scripted, but actually
not in the reality. They're not trying to pass sort of reality. Just let's make fun of Florida.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness! And I've just got to work one more day, and I'm off 6 out of 7, and I can quarantine my ass at home.
Oh my god!
Everything's fucking closed. I can't do anything else, no matter how bad I try.
Well, it's the Twilight Zone episode where the guy has the atom bomb goes off while he's in the fallout shelter, and so he's the only person left alive, and he's got all the time to read all the books now, and then he immediately breaks his glasses.
Oh,
it's a good episode. Twilight Zone was really good.
Yeah, those little Twilight Zones, they're something, man. They make you think.
Those sci-fi marathons were solid. All right, let's. I think we can get this started here. Yeah. So.
You're just gonna send me a.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, no, of course not. What are you talking about? What? That's.
I'm in the login for what we're doing tonight, so I can always, be there to listen and edit the Affordable Fair podcast.
Hey, there it is. Welcome to the Affordable Fair podcast, episode 308.
Does that bullshit smell bad enough? I can't tell.
We have a fun one for you today, guys. I am, as always, Green. Joined, as always, by McCall Crime, Wes Bradshaw. We're going to be bringing you a Dynamite episode this week, as I mentioned. We're going to be talking a little bit of European soccer, just with the latest goings-on. But we're also going to be talking some TV. And I know we normally do that in the Watch For segment, but as we're kind of extending that a little bit as we try to figure out things to talk about with no Premier League football going on.
You got nothing else to do, so shit.
Here we go. So we'll be talking about that. And hey, we're 1.5 weeks away from WrestleMania. So
yeah, I guess
that's please.
I haven't gotten WrestleMania ready. So.
In the words of Jeb, please get excited. So we'll be talking about that for sure. Yeah. So that's kind of where we are right now. So as always, though, podcast is presented by NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. We never stop. All right. So real quick, a few of the stories that we kind of want to talk about. So this is one coming to us from The Athletic here as I actually do click on it. I thought I had this open, and I did. So last week we talked on this podcast, and people in England talked in much more serious rooms, and the idea was, hey, guys, listen. We know that there's a lot of money at stake if we don't finish the Premier League. We don't know when it's going to start. We're getting rid of that June 30th end date. It's just we're going to get the Premier League done when it gets done. We're going to finish the season. We totally double promise, guys. So, about I'd say now 4 or 5 days ago, after this podcast was recorded, David Ornstein came out with an article on The Athletic. We love The Athletic. Basically, where the headline is "Growing Appetite for Premier League Season to be Abandoned on Moral Grounds." So, things that were said from one senior figure who is part of a football club in the Premier League. Quote, "You look at the people sitting around the Premier League table by Skype. Why aren't they using Zoom? I don't understand this. Their egos cannot sustain a mirror."
Skype anymore.
I know, Skype is trash. Anyway, their egos cannot sustain a mirror being held up to them. The fact is they are not as important as a Tesco delivery driver at this time. We run a game being italicized for emphasis. No more, no less. There is no place for sport at the moment. David Ornstein goes on and talks about the last week. We talked about that 100% commitment to moving forward. Then says, but privately, some clubs have developed strong reservations about resuming football during the coronavirus crisis and are leaning towards the season being rerun, regardless of the consequences. Easily the worst reruns since we decided to. I don't have a show lined up for this joke. I'm sorry. What's a bad TV show?
Oh, well, Married with Children has killed themselves just for shits and giggles over the years. So anything on the Fox network.
Hey, there it is.
Thank you, Al Bundy.
Oh man. And of course, as we might get into a little bit later in another part of this podcast, this view was initially raised by West Ham United Vice Chair Karen Brady on March 14th, and in the subsequent Premier League video call, she and Brighton and Hove Albion Chief Executive Paul Barber sounded a note of caution on the realities of finishing the matches, though there were no dissenting voices at the time. Other people quoted as saying, "It's absolutely clear what is going to happen. It's a worldwide pandemic. You just start the season again, and there are very few losers." And the very next breath goes, "Liverpool, I know. But in the grand scheme of things, honestly, it really doesn't matter." That's not Karen Brady. She may believe that, but this quote is not attributed to Karen Brady. Honestly, it really doesn't matter. You've just got to start again. This is going to get worse here in Britain. So it's not about players returning to training. If we all stay at home and self-isolate for the next 2 to 3 months, we're going to get through this quite simply. But even then, there's going to be a period of slow reintegration into normality. Otherwise, the virus will start to spike again. So if we're lucky, the new season will start in September. One chairman said, "How can you play a contact sport that could result in injury and a highly paid, highly privileged individual having to go to a hospital, to be fixed, placing an even greater burden on the hospital system at a time when the virus is escalating?" One club director feels football has its priorities wrong. Quote, "The position we're talking in is ridiculous. There are such bigger issues to deal with, yet every question is, will Liverpool be champions?" So this feels a lot like I forget what her name is, Reverend Lovejoy's wife from The Simpsons. We'll just call her Karen Lovejoy. Won't someone please think of the children? Look.
Helen Lovejoy, right?
Yes, you're so good. Damn, that's right. Look. I had to. So people who may listen to the post and pre-pod, if this ever actually came up, I don't know. Some of you may have at some point heard about me following a certain Facebook group of a certain town of certain citizens that shall remain nameless, because it was funny, because they're cray-cray. And so to cheer me up in these trying times, I was on there today and looking at some of their coronavirus talk. And I had to actually, for the first time in, I think, 5 months, I closed the tab because I thought the things they're saying in this group are going to get people killed. And that's not funny anymore. That's depressing. And I get no joy in that. So not everything they're saying, but some things. When the deep state starts getting mentioned and people saying, "Here, take these drugs, it'll be fine," I start to go, Okay. All right. We're good. I'm out. So, believe me, folks, I am very, very aware of how serious this is. This is a deathly, and I am not exaggerating when I use that term, deathly serious situation we have around the entire world. This is big. And I honestly don't know anymore when the Premier League is going to restart. But these guys need to shut the fuck up. I do not believe for 1 second, and I might be wrong. I am willing to admit I could be wrong. But I do not believe for 1 second any of these people have purely altruistic grounds for ending the season. No. Fuck that. Absolutely not. I don't disagree with the idea that, will teams look way different if we restart in October than they would have if we had kept playing in April. Yeah, absolutely. Weird shit's going to happen. This season is going to have a giant asterisk on it. But you got to just keep it going. You can't just stop and start all over again. You have to keep going. Now, if that's in September, if it's in November, if it's January, it doesn't matter. And it's not just because Liverpool is 2 wins away from their first title in 30 years. It's not just because of that. You're already 29, 38 through the season. Quick maths. And at this point, you just have to continue it. You have to see it out whenever that is. Whatever things you got to work out with contracts being up, with schedules moving around, with transfer windows moving around. You can figure that out through, again, Zoom. Nobody fucking uses Skype anymore. So, yeah, apparently only one of the richest football leagues in the world uses fucking Skype. They must have a really sweet deal with Microsoft. But seriously, this is silly to claim the moral high ground. And I want to just go back real quick if I can find this. Where was the one that said it? The position we're taking is ridiculous. There are such bigger issues to deal with, yet every question is, will Liverpool be champions? That's not the fucking point. It's just not. If that's what you're actually thinking about, if that's your response, then you've also lost. You're no better. Just finish the season. Whatever it is. Sit in your boardrooms, get on the Skype, and just work it out. It's not that hard. There's no reason to just keep this, well, maybe we shouldn't finish the season anymore. No, that's fucking stupid. Come on, guys. Just whatever it is. Even if that means starting in January, you play for 3 months, and then you start again in September or August 2021 after Euros. Hey, everybody they'll got a nice long break, play some football, have a nice little break before Euros, play Euros, have a nice couple week break, start season 2021-22. It's not that hard, guys. It's but I don't for 1 second believe this moral grandstanding is the right answer. So please stop. If you really do feel that way, and if you're 100% being altruistic, I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. So that's my little mini rant for the week. Sorry. Any thoughts, Wes?
I've been hearing more and more people coming on kind of the line that you're talking of, finish this season and almost like forego the next season. Mm-hmm. And just have everything back on track for, the 2021-2022 season.
Yeah.
As crazy as it kind of sounds when you first hear it, look, here's the thing. There's no guarantee that we're going to be, ready to start a season in the middle of August here.
Exactly.
I think once this thing has really hit, more you say the Western world, mm-hmm. the more it's suddenly gotten like real. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's be honest here. When shit's happening in China and Japan, we're kind of like, oh man, that sucks. Mm-hmm. when shit suddenly hits Europe, here in the U.S., we're like, oh, okay. And in Europe, obviously, we're like, oh, shit. But even in the U.S., we're like, should we worry now? And then suddenly it's in the U.S., and, we're number one. We're number one in coronavirus cases. Even though I can go on another rant about that, because there ain't no damn way China's reporting their numbers.
Well, Anyway.
Not to get totally off track here.
Anyway.
We never do that.
Yeah.
But, really right now, I think best case scenario, you're getting teams back together. If you look at peaks and here's the thing, it's not like suddenly, okay, well, people are shooting free, we can just go back to living life how we. No, you've got to take some time to make sure this shit's eradicated.
Yeah.
You've got to take into account that, most I hate to say this, there could be almost like a secondary phase of this.
Oh, sure.
That comes maybe in the fall. Now, hopefully by that time we've got vaccines and treatments ready for it,
right,
and we can knock it out a lot quicker. But, really right now, I think you're completely pushing it. You're setting yourself up for another stoppage if you're like, oh, we have to start the new season in August.
Yeah.
Right now, like you said, if they can start this bad boy back after you finish this season, if you want to, you pick up the FA Cups, you pick up, Champions League, however y'all want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody needs to get together on this. That's the thing. People have got to be together on this. And then you can have a normal transfer window. You'll have Euros. You need to go ahead and just move AFCON as well. You'll have Euros. You'll have Copa. You could have like summer of soccer. It could be fucking amazing. You'll have the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will be there in 2021. You finish these seasons out. Play it to its completion. And because here's my thing, I think it's better to conclude one messed up season than have back-to-back messed up seasons.
Yeah. Like them talking about doing like a 19 game 2020 season.
Exactly.
So
and then you're behind, you're under the gun to finished, and as much as we hate the thought of not having football again until January.
Yeah.
Obviously with that you should have some time for a decent preseason. To training camp, get guys back in there, throw some friendlies together, and then just pick up the season where it is. Because obviously guys are going to need some game time. We know this. Now the thing is, for us, it's easy to say, oh, this is the way to do it. There are so many things that have to be taken care of. Once again, we've talked about this has come up before, when now our contracts sticking out to the end there, how are guys getting paid on this?
Yeah.
So it's in the simplistic view, that is, to us, that's the simplistic, easy way to do it. To the guy whose livelihood and paycheck depends on this, shit, you're basically losing a complete season of your career. You look at college sports, Jesus God, I still have no freaking clue how they think they're going to pull this off. But I love the sentiment play. I don't know how you're going to pull this off.
Oh yeah.
But there's so many. There's the very easy, just do it this way and it'll make more sense. Well, that's great, but there are so many other parts to this stuff that maybe don't quite forward make sense. Think of somebody like Hakeem Ziyech right now, who's basically signed a pre-contract with Chelsea. Okay, so he's supposed to become a Chelsea player, or at the end of June, he's supposed to become a Chelsea player. Are you now basically telling him, all right, well, you're there?
Yeah.
And not only that, you're going to have to stick around at Ajax, and not only that, you're going to be a year older.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's really a lot to this. It's not so simple as just, oh well.
Sure.
But it's starting January.
I don't get paid. I don't get paid to think about it either.
Exactly.
So.
It's not our job to think about it. So somebody's got to come up with it. But that does, on the surface, that seems like a really better plan.
Yeah. Just to kind of put a bow on this with a super depressing thought that I've been having more and more like over the last week or so. 2020 is going to be a lost year. It's that's, if you're talking about soccer or fall college sports, college football. I saw a thing the other day where Kirk Herbstreit was kind of like, guys, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be playing, college or pro football this year, and got like viciously attacked on Twitter because people need their football.
That does have me worried.
I don't know if it's going to happen. I know that's like September, and we're currently just started April Fools, everyone. But this is I think just going to be a lost calendar year. And this is one of those situations where like I really hope I'm wrong. I hope by September where we've done enough social distancing where we can at least start to get a little back into normalcy words. But I'm worried that we're not going to get to, like you were saying, a vaccine and stuff like that until really late this year. That's what scares me. Because without that, I don't know if we had a vaccine yesterday. Hey, this is we're going to get probably started back in June. Like that'll be taken care of. But until we have that vaccine, I think it's going to be very tough to start anything again. And I'm worried that we will not be getting that until the back end of the year. So, yeah.
So, who's feeling really good about everything?
Oh man, there's a couple more articles on The Athletic talking about the Premier League. They had a meeting today trying to figure out how they're going to do wage deferral agreements with their players to try and save a little money while we don't know. There was a bit of a hubbub just about Tottenham specifically, and I know you might make a little comment about Daniel Levy. And not at all unwarranted later. But one thing they did talk about when Tottenham made their financial report is things look really good right now. But this is also, they have their new stadium, and they were supposed to have events throughout the summer, not just soccer events. These are like concerts and boxing matches and stuff like that. And now those aren't going to be happening most likely. So the Premier League, even like the rich teams, are going to feel this a little bit going forward here. But so there has been talk about some of the players doing wage deferrals and the trickiness that's going to go on through that. Again, things that we're not paid to think about, but if we were, we'd be being paid very handsomely right now. And then lastly, this is the story I'll just kind of pimp out as my story for the week. And then Wes, if you have anything, feel free to add any articles you've been scrolling through. This one by Simon Hughes, and just kind of a little update. I think this was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. We talked about Daniel Sturridge getting an FA ban for basically insider betting trading information with his family and friends, trying to let them know like where he'd be getting transferred to, and for having them bet on that result. So he got banned for 4 months, but that basically was like 3 weeks into the with where he was in Turkey, and then it just kind of kept going, and no matches have been played. So pretty much by the time football actually starts again, he'll be free to play anything. So good job on that, not setting like an actual match limit and just a time limit. Couldn't have foreseen the global pandemic coming that would shut down all of football, I guess. So congratulations, Daniel Sturridge, on finding that loophole. Not that you'll probably ever get another chance in the Premier League, but hey, at least you can go to MLS now. So you got that going for you, buddy. So there you go. That was Daniel Sturridge and the FA ban that is no longer a ban by Simon Hughes. That is actually from just about that's from yesterday. So, Wes, anything you'd like to pimp out for the Athletic?
So I've been in a little depression over losing my real sports here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but luckily the Athletic is kicking ass on so many other fronts right now.
Oh yes.
These are professional writers, and they had to find. One of my things they've done the Athletic's top 100 sports movies.
Ooh.
Hello. And not only that, they are going inside. They are today. It was I've read on there. So there's like this service that football teams use to like grade tackling.
Okay.
It's one of those. You hear about all the services and everything that they use for the draft and things like that. So this service it breaks down tackling. Is this guy maximizing his power, all this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how about, since they have nothing to do right now, basically, the Athletic got them to analyze the movie The Waterboy.
Oh God!
And they broke down Bobby Boucher's tackling for that movie. And surprisingly, pretty darn good results for Bobby Boucher.
Wow!
It wasn't the, you would almost think he'd be spearing everybody and he'd be, they'd throw him out for targeting and all this shit. Really, he tackled very well in that movie. Now, there were some where, this doesn't work, mostly where he's like leaping over offensive lines and flying in the air.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, he leads with his shoulder. He explodes out from his hips.
Oh, man.
Now, his biggest problem, he's a 5'10", 100-pound middle linebacker. Not exactly what the league is looking for, but for the South Central Louisiana State.
Oh man, I have this article now. I have found it.
It is so great. Look, they've got his grade down. He grades out like.
Oh my God. He's
great. Analytics are beautiful.
And people called them nerds and said, "Get your stats out of my sports.
Get your nerdy statistical analysis out of my."
Oh, now we need to do like actual ratings for Happy Gilmore. That's the next.
Oh my goodness, that's what. Just to hit real quick, the Netflix top 100 sports movies. I'm gonna give you top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they start at number 1, so what's the sport? Number 1 is Rocky.
Okay.
Number 2 is Raging Bull.
Okay.
Number 3 is Hoop Dreams.
Okay.
Number 4, Bull Durham.
Okay.
Partially, or one scene in Rocky Mount. Here we go.
Exactly.
Part of that. That whole thing was like, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Durham. Number 5, Miracle.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, boy. So, and Major League, which is actually my favorite sports movie, comes in at number 10.
That's actually not bad. Because that movie is and Major League 2 are both kind of terrible.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not based on like.
Oh no, I love those movies.
Yeah, Major League's the best movie.
I love those movies. They're terrible, but I love them. Don't get it twisted.
No, Major League 2 is a little terrible. Major League is magnificent.
That's fair. Major League 2 though is very cool. Oh God.
Oh, it's bad, but it's still good. Now once you get to Major League 3.
Oh, that's a train wreck.
Now we're just not watching anymore.
Fuck that movie.
It's like, I'm not even watching shit.
Oh,
Major League, I won't watch it anytime. So, if you folks have been on the Facebook, I don't know how yours are, but all of my Facebook, people are looking for things to do besides just talking about Corona and Tiger King.
Mhm.
So people are doing the list.
Mhm.
Your top 10 TV shows of all time, which and one that I'm currently working on, I haven't finished, but I've got it saved and I go to it time to time, are what are your 10 movies you have watched countless times and never get sick of?
Mhm.
So not maybe your 10 favorite movies, but what's the one that when you're flipping through the TV and suddenly you come across TBS at,
Mhm.
2 in the morning and holy shit, Major League's on. It can be halfway through and I'm watching the rest of it.
That's true.
FX, on my list right now, I've got my 5 are Top Gun, Black Hawk Down, Dumb and Dumber, Deadpool, and Major League.
That's a good list.
I mean, it's like Dumb and Dumber, I'm going to watch Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
That's always on TBS. Deadpool comes on FX like 3 times a week and has for like 4 years now. So. Major League, you'll catch it every now and then on like comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Top Gun's the greatest movie ever made. Not in an artistic way, but just,
Yeah.
I mean, I was quoting Top Gun at the age of 5, and now I'm almost 38, and I'm still quoting Top Gun.
That's fair.
And Black Hawk Down comes on FX, and I'll. So, anyway, folks, hey, yeah, let's have this is a fun time being quarantined and having nothing to do. So, let's do our bit.
Oh man, that's a shame because like the problem with me is we don't have cable. So I don't get to just jump into a movie and flip through channels and be like, oh, that's on.
It has to be like, oh, I want
yes.
to watch this movie.
I will say, one named producer Jackie and I were flipping through YouTube last night, and she was like on the verge of falling asleep on the couch, and I found this video from a guy named Daniel Thrasher. And it was just, I forget what the original thumbnail was, but it was just a kid, like a younger guy, like he's probably like mid-20s, sitting at a piano in his apartment. And the title was like, when pianists add a riff to everything they play. And it was only like 4 minutes long. So I was like, all right, I'll just throw it up, see what it is. And then all of a sudden I see like Jackie kind of like peeking up from her phone, like, what is this? What is this? Piano? I play piano. I like comedy. And she started dying laughing, and then we watched another because YouTube autoplay, baby. We watched another, and then another, and then another, and then it's like an hour and a half later, and we're like, okay, we got to go to bed. It's 12:30. So, yeah, big shout out to Daniel Thrasher and just the ability, even though I can't just randomly catch a great movie on cable, the ability to fall down the YouTube rabbit hole is so strong. So I will definitely recommend that. Also, I'll just say this real quick. We actually talked, Wes and I did, before the spot about what we were going to talk about. But hey, we've already gone on like a decent amount of time. So I think if it's cool with you, we'll just save that topic for next week. So we already kind of have that one in the bank, and you can kind of maybe even give a little more thought to it if you want to. So that's what we call the business of tease, folks. But yeah, I
hate to say, I can't much more that's going to be added to European football by next week.
Exactly. So
the Premier League will talk.
Yes. And won't get shit done.
And they'll say, "Well, Amy."
Oh man.
Start the league today, but it's not gonna.
So we'll save that for next week. So we've kind of done everything. This kind of dovetail in a more normal watch for. So Wes, what you watching in the week that was and the week that will be?
I'll start with the normal.
Okay.
As you know, I got on a nice run with The Good Place.
Yes.
An Ed Green show. Ed Green. Gotta watch this one.
Real quick. When you sent me the message about Dance Dance Resolution, I started going, that was a good episode, wasn't it? And then I went on to WikiQuote and remembered quotes. I was like, man, these quotes are really funny. About 20 minutes later, I'm just gonna start watching it. Let's just fuck. I'm just gonna pick up right from that episode, and I cruised through the entirety of season 2 in like a day and a half. I was like, oh my god, this was so good.
Thanks, resolution. I love it. So there's been the big twist. I hit the big.
Yeah.
Where, well, hell, it's you and me now, and these people. A lot of times we don't tell because maybe one of us hasn't watched it.
Yeah.
Well, now we're caught up.
Mm-hmm.
The good place was the bad place.
What? Holy motherfucking shirt balls.
Holy motherfucking shirt balls. And dude, here's the thing, I get really into shows and I don't always pick up all the little hints.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something saying to me, I'm like, wait a minute, I know there's 3 seasons of this. How the hell are they going to keep this going? Something's got to happen.
Yeah.
And then within an episode, it's like, oh, here we go.
Yes.
A fantastic twist. It got us thinking about other twists.
Yeah.
There's your tease for next week. I was thinking about some other twists that we've seen over the years, but man, just really, really good, really well done. Bravo to the writers, the staff of the. Really, really good job, guys. You killed it. And now, I'm about halfway through.
Okay.
So they have them back on. They're back on Earth. What just happened? Oh, okay. So they found out about. So now they're just trying to save other people.
Ah, yes. Yes.
I think the last one I just watched was.
Mm-hmm.
So and they tried to Jason's dad.
Oh, Donkey Doug?
Donkey Doug. You can call me Donkey Dad. Donkey Doug sounds better. Yeah.
Oh man, did you like?
I've been on this entire.
Oh man.
And that just wow.
Did
the
you like?
Character is just he is Florida.
He's the human embodiment of Florida.
Go Jags!
Did you enjoy when they went? They infiltrated the bad place near the end of season 2, and Tahani got to do her American accent.
Oh, that was great. Her American accent was just magnificent, as you would figure it would be with Tahani.
Of course. Oh man, it is fantastic. It is such a wonderful show, and
it's a really good show. And
yep.
I'm gonna give you that. And you know what? You gave me. So what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm gonna return the favor.
And
I'm gonna give you the hottest show on streaming television. The meme king of. And that's right, Ed. I emphasize the word king.
Yeah.
Tiger King on Netflix.
Oh man.
Folks, I talked about it some last week. And I've just got to emphasize it because it's the best train wreck I've ever. It's unbelievable. And it's unbelievable that there are it's out there. And of course, part of it's based in Florida.
Yeah, of course.
We're like Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Home of Tom Brady now. Yeah, Tom Brady and Carol fucking Baskin. Oh my goodness! Can't wait. I can't wait for Tom to go. Big cat rescue. I thoroughly told Eddie he completely needs to watch this show for no other reason. Just so he understands the secondhand meanings that he's the words that bitch Baskin are probably in my lexicon for life. When inevitably Joe Exotic will definitely if I do have a second the Japanese girlfriend has maybe a little tongue agreed to let me try to hire Joe Exotic to sing at my wedding. She doesn't know how serious I really am. That's her problem. Yeah, I mean, folks, I can't tell you enough in this time of, quarantine where we can't do anything else. This is the time to rot your brain on shit like that. I mean, why would you do that to yourself? The complete and utter guilty pleasure that is Tiger King. It is the embodiment. It is the embodiment of it.
Oh man. Oh.
Ew, play portals. But yeah, so check out Tiger. Check it out on.
Oh man, that is insane. So yeah, I'll just give another plug to Daniel. Short little comedy sketches that are pretty funny, and are granted they are very music based, but you don't need to be like super smart when it comes to actual like music to get a lot of the jokes. There's a great one where, and what I love about it is he plays all the characters pretty much in his sketches, so it's really funny. There's one where he goes back and forth doing music puns. Pretty great. So again, I'll just throw that out. Daniel Thrasher over on YouTube. Pretty great. So that's my watch 4. And with that, I think that will bring this episode of the AFA podcast to a close. Once again, I want to thank NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. We never stop. You can catch them on social media as well as us on Twitter. We are at AFA Pod. That's our collective. Wes, you are?
I'm at Wes Bradshaw 21.
And I am at Edward Green. Ow. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube via our parent show, the All New Sports Show. I hit my elbow on my very solid work desk that you know about.
It's a hell of a desk.
It is a hell of a desk. You can also email us at allsportshow@gmail.com. Thanks to our podcast providers, including Podbean.com, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, the TuneIn Radio app, Google Play Music, and the iTunes Music Store. So with that, we will wrap up episode 308. But before we get out of here, Wes, anything else you'd like to add?
We kind of touched
on
what we were talking about with the NCAA. So apparently they have granted an extra year of eligibility for all of their spring athletes.
Yes.
To me, on the surface, that's like super the NCAA, right? This is the NCAA, and they're like hateful, fuck everything up. I'm really interested to see how this works out.
Yeah.
Good friends of this show, one of our favorites, Baseball Britt Johnson. Yeah, Baseball Britt is the assistant baseball coach at Appalachian State University. Nice Division I school, playing the Sun Belt. Big time college baseball. And I haven't talked to Britt about this at all. I haven't talked to Britt in a few weeks. So this hasn't come up. This is just my thoughts is, college baseball, you're recruiting guys when they're sophomores and juniors in high school. You're roster planning 2 to 3 years out. And so, that spring 2021 roster, we have going to have, this is the we're going to have, this is how the money is spread around. And now suddenly it's like, oh, I'm going to have an entire extra class of kids.
Yeah.
The Major League Draft is going to be completely revamped this year because, they're saying something about going maybe 5 to 10 rounds, and that's it. So then instead of 40 rounds of kids kind of thinning out that college herd a little bit, no, now a bunch of kids are doing, well, shit, I've got to go to college now. I don't have a choice. I look at college baseball. Sorry, Hialeah or out indoor track. I don't even know what they play in the spring. It doesn't matter to me. Man, that is going to be. You talk about the number crunch that we get in college baseball. Holy shit! And you're bringing in a lot of kids, a lot of big time programs. They play top freshmen, and these kids have been like, hey, I'm University of Florida, or I'm going to Georgia. Virginia or I'm going to North Carolina because, this is where, I was planning to come in and start as a freshman, and now there's a fifth-year senior up there. I'm just, I'm not envying my friend Britt and the task that lies before him and his coaching brethren.
Yeah,
because that is going to be really interesting to see how next.
Yeah, it's
just something I want to throw out there.
No, I think it's very important to get through. So that is going to be kind of crazy. I don't know how they're going to handle that, but hey, if there's someone we can trust to do the right thing, it's definitely the NCAA. So
always good job, Mark Emmert.
So with that, folks, for my Colin Crime West Bradshaw, I am Edward Green. Thank you so much for joining us here yet again on the Afford Affair podcast. And until next time, stay safe.
That's it. We love you guys. Stay safe.
Stay safe. I will say real quick. So we on Saturday we recorded for my work a sort of like presentation about a lawyer coming and doing just whatever, talking about the virus and legal ramifications of it in our state. And they asked me, since I was recording it over the internet, to like do a little intro and outro, like before and after he talked. So at the end, the planner who was on the call with me, like, is messaging me. He's like, and make sure you tell everybody to stay safe. And I'm like, so I'm getting to the end. I'm like, thank you so much, Ripley, for this great presentation. We really appreciate you all taking the time to listen to this day. And until next time, stay safe.
You wanted to say enjoy the football.
I did.
And then you were waiting for me to go, good night, Papa.
Because I'm doing this in front of the computer and my podcast microphone at my desk. This is a podcast at this point.
You don't understand. This is what I do. This is who I am.
Oh, bitches. It was so funny. And I totally could have done it, but I didn't.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.